They've been brought in for a lot of money, and United in this transfer window need to move players on. So Højlund is not going to attract the sort of money that he was attracting a couple of years ago. When United got him, PSG and Tottenham Hotspur both went for him. But I do think he's a very good player. I wouldn't have a problem if he stayed at Old Trafford and fought for that number 9 spot if Sesko comes in. But I'm also a realist and know that Manchester United A, need to sell players, and B, Rasmus Højlund will want to play football, especially as there is a lot fewer games this year with no European football.
Let's get to player sales then. It's proving fairly difficult at the moment to offload the likes of Alejandro Garnacho, Antony and Jadon Sancho, which you'd think they're going to need to do if they're going to try and sign a player like Carlos Baleba.
Yeah, I think Baleba's going to be difficult to get through. The fact that they were able to go for Sesko without selling anybody would have surprised me a month ago, but last week in Chicago it was explained to me where the money's coming from and how this is happening. And United have had some funds come in this season, or will be coming in from sell-ons of players who've left the club. I think compromise is going to be needed, and if you look at the players who are not training with the first team, they're clearly talented, they've got the merits, they will be attractive to some suitors, and you'd assume that they want to play football even though they've got big contracts at Manchester United. So I think a compromise on their wages, we saw that with Marcus Rashford when he moved to Barcelona, and Manchester United don't pay any of his wages either. And I think as the transfer window ticks down, the movement will start to happen. At the moment, you will have a lot of clubs watching those Manchester United players thinking, we really like them, but we can't afford the wages, we can't afford the transfer fee. So I think compromises will be needed, and I think they will come. And there's still actually quite a long time left in this transfer window.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Andy, thank you very much for now.
Thank you.
Now, we heard from the Chelsea boss, Enzo Maresca, earlier in the show about potential outgoings. He said the club text or call him when a player leaves, and that he is only working with the ones that we want. Rob, let's bring you back in now. It feels like Maresca isn't too interested or too concerned about the players who are not in his plans. What did you make of those comments?
Interesting. It's interesting how kind of calm he is. Because I think at Chelsea you need to have that calmness, and I think he's managed it excellently over the last year. And the way he kind of just puts, oh yeah, they'll message me, phone me, text me, because I think he kind of files it in a way of, I got so much things every day, I got a million things on my plate right now. This is the best way I can manage the current squad and the current team and training sessions and preparing for games, is you let me know. This is the plan. I'm sure, listen, they'll have discussions of what they want to do, which players he wants, which players he wouldn't mind going. I think that's clear. And then after that, I'll leave it to the upstairs who do the business side of it and the negotiations and the recruitment side of it. So he's very calm in the ways like, okay, text me, phone me, and let me know if they're in or they're out. And then I'll work with them, or thank you very much, see you later. And I think there's a few players like that who I think you'd want to move on right now, especially the ones that were out on loan last year.
It does feel pretty brutal, doesn't it? Raheem Sterling and Ben Chilwell, presumably two of the players who aren't in the first team plans, presumably training elsewhere at a different time, not allowed in certain parts of the building. As a player, have you ever been in that situation where you're frozen out, you know you're not going to play for the team? What's that like?
Oh, yeah, I've been in that situation, and it's very, very difficult because, you know, I think sometimes people don't realize the player wants to be involved in training, wants to be involved in the games and be part of the team and contribute. And sometimes it's out of your hands. You have to go and, you know, okay, listen, the rest of the team is in, they're training at 10:30, well, you're in at 3 o'clock, and there's about 3 or 4 of you training. It's horrible as a player. I've been in that situation. It's very, very difficult. And sometimes it's, like I said, it's out of your hands and you can't do anything about it, apart from apply yourself correctly and wait, because maybe your agent wants to, you know, working on a deal and it comes later on. So you just have to stay focused. The biggest thing is, as hard as it is as a football player, you just apply yourself correctly. Training, stay fit, be ready for your move when it comes. And yeah, I think, listen, as a player, it's the most difficult thing. You know, I think secondary to one, you being injured, And number two, when you are not in the plans and you are trying to say, well, I'm kind of in no man's land where I'm here, the contract is here, I'm coming in every day, but I'm not training with the team. And I'm waiting somewhere else that somebody's going to come and obviously take me on as a, to a different team. So very, very difficult. I can understand completely how those guys feel at Chelsea. And let's face it, I think some of them need a refresh, need a different club, because when you have what we had last year at Chelsea, 30 players and some players not changing, there's not enough room for players to get changed in. That's a big problem for a football club. I've been in that situation where you got so many players and you're all on top of each other in the dressing room, and even times where your kit is in a different dressing room and you kind of feel a distance, you're not part of it. That's the worst feeling for a football player.
OK, on a related note, there are question marks over the future of Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea. It's understood several clubs are keeping an eye on the striker's situation at Chelsea.
No, Nico is okay. It's okay. I think, as I just said now, when the window transfer is open, unfortunately or fortunately, anything can happen. So this also involves Nico's situation. At the moment, we also those arrived two strikers, both of them in USA, Joao and Liam. So we see what's happened. Until the window transfer is open, anything can happen in terms of player arrive, and then anything can happen in terms of player leave.
Now, it's our understanding at Sky Sports News that Nicholas Jackson's valuation in any potential deal would be in the line with the fees we've seen paid for the likes of Hugo Ekitike and Benjamin Sesko if he does go to Manchester.